Ignition sequence starts. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Liftoff. We have a liftoff.
Hey everybody, this is the Digital Asset Investor, and I just ate a Slim Jim beef jerky. I've been doing low carb, and the Slim Jim, the beef jerky, is one of those things that's like it's a good snack, like a fill-in if you're a little hungry, and when you're on low carb, you can pretty much only eat meat and a handful of other things, and so every once in a while, a Slim Jim's pretty good. Today, my 6-year-old had his first All-Star game ever, and they won 9-8. They had them beat 9-1 and blew the major lead. And the other team, it was kind of interesting. The other team came back, and it was 9-8 in I think it was the bottom of the 5th inning, 9-8, bases loaded, 2 outs, and they were coming back. All they needed was one good hit with the bases loaded, and they probably would have beat us. And then lightning struck, and so the umpires had to call a delay, and then it never stopped pouring raining, and they finally had to call the game. And the technicality was that if you finish a game, if you're past the 4th inning and it gets called due to rain, whoever's ahead wins. And so we won. So that was a good thing. Okay, let's start it off. XRP Crypto Wolf. He's tweeting this out. This is Christine Lagarde, who is the head of the IMF. And he says, Lagarde, she's speaking in Japan. Lagarde emphasized fintech can cut the cost of accessing financing and enable millions to fulfill their aspirations of building a better life. Ripple is a fintech company, and this is exactly what their goal is by enabling the Internet of Value. I find Christine Lagarde fascinating because she seems to be trying to sell fintech everywhere she goes. And she has already told us, we've heard her say it out of her own mouth, that it's not going to be Bitcoin and it's not going to be Ethereum. We've heard her talk about Ripple on several occasions. We've seen pictures of her with Brad Garlinghouse. We've seen her sitting at a table while Brad Garlinghouse is speaking. This woman, she may just want to become a salesperson for Ripple, because that's the impression almost. It's like she is on board completely with digital assets, and she seems to be very close to Ripple. Everywhere we look, I see IMF. Okay, moving along. Got this from C3 Nick. Ripple in Asia and SCB. There's been a lot of talk about Siam Commercial Bank. Listen to the comments by Brad Garlinghouse, Ripple CEO. This is from November 2018. C3 Nick put this on his YouTube channel on their strategy in Southeast Asia and what has to say about Siam Commercial Bank. And he's got the link here. Now you can go and you can see his YouTube channel. Let me see, I think it's just C3 Nick is his YouTube channel, and you can subscribe. And he's got that clip from Brad Garlinghouse. He also summarized one of the things he said in a tweet. Brad Garlinghouse, one bank I will highlight is Siam Commercial Bank in Thailand, as some of the correspondent banking community react from some parts of the Southeast Asian market. Siam is solving that and even using digital assets to solve that problem. So that makes it pretty clear, folks. All right. And then we've got this. I have not shown this in a little while, and we've got so many new people that are watching that I wanted you to see it. This is one of the most interesting websites around XRP for those of you that don't know about it. The Infidel at the Infidel 3 put this out. XRP stats by Vitsevin. You copied me on this. Find your exact spot on the XRP Richlist. And this is a website that Vitsevin had created. By number of counts, balance range. Now, the backdrop, when you're looking at this, you do need to understand that some people have more than one. I would say most people have more than one XRP account. So these numbers are probably not exactly on, but they give you a good picture, I think. So this number of accounts with a billion XRP, I guess, or more would be 8. Number of accounts with 500 million XRP or more, 500 million to a billion is 8. 47 accounts have 100 million to 500 million. You see how this tiers down. And then it's interesting if you look at it from this. This is how you see what percentage that you are in. If you're in the, if you have 757, well, let's just look at the 1%. If you have 66,958, you are in the 1% club with XRP. Now, here's what's interesting, folks. I was showing this during the bear market, and to be in the 1% at that time was more like, as I recall, having 78,000 XRP. So as time goes on, people must be dropping off. So over time, less and less XRP is going to put you in the 1%. And so what I say is to hold on to those bags. Okay, next, this is from XRP Crypto Wolf. And he's tweeting out, Ripple came out with another Ripple drop. For those of you that don't know, you can go to Ripple's feed. They put these out. They're like short videos behind the scenes at Ripple, and they show you kind of what's going on with the company, and they interview different people in different positions at Ripple. Well, he summarized this. He says, third is a quote from the Ripple drop, 31 billion every year going into Mexico and 33 billion every year going into the Philippines. This is a really high impact cross-border flow and the first of many corridors that we will open up this year. Customers new to RippleNet can get started in days instead of weeks. And that is pretty darn cool. Okay. XRP veteran. I saw this and I thought I would show it just for the fun of it. XRP veteran, what is the first crazy thing you are going to do if XRP hits your price target? Not talking about buying dream car or house. I mean getting drunk, smoking some weed, and so on. Well, I decided that I would show you this and I'll give you my answer. I think that one of the first things I'm going to do is what I recall Mark Cuban saying he did when he first hit it big. He may not have said this, so don't quote me, but I swear I read something where he said this. But the first thing is I would never buy a G5 or whatever these private planes. I would never be a guy who would buy something like that, depreciating asset like that. I wouldn't buy those kind of toys. But what I would do probably if let's say I woke up tomorrow and XRP had hit some crazy number that I never thought it would hit, I would go calmly tell my wife, I would say, we are now loaded. And then I would call up one of those private jet companies where you can lease a nice private plane. I would call up my closest friends and I would say, we're going to Vegas and it's on me. And I would go hop a plane, and I think that I would be able to put P. Diddy to shame the way that I would party on the way over there and in Vegas and then on the way back. I think it would literally be like one of the Hangover movies. It would be so wild. Well, not that far. Let's not go that far. I'm 45 now. But I would make sure that I celebrated the moment. Trust you me. Okay, moving along. This is from XRP Raconteur at Crypto Cubanito sent me this. And this is something I've been talking about for quite a while, probably since I started this channel, that that digital assets will benefit from the inflation that will be ultimately be caused by all of the countries of the world and their central banks pumping up all this debt and creating a massive future disaster. Fear of inflation and devaluation. The Chinese market, let's see if that's the part. The Chinese market is one of the largest in the world, but it is being threatened by increasing pressure from the trade war with the U.S. Chinese residents. Therefore, could face the danger of inflation of the yuan and possibly devaluation, as has been the case with some countries. This has been stated as one of the reasons that so much money is coming into crypto from China and boosting Bitcoin's price. Boom. That's exactly what I thought was going to happen. And it is happening, and it's going to happen on a much more massive scale in the future. Next, from Michael at BAL 5 Links. Peter Brent, veteran trader, went on to identify XRP as one other cryptocurrency that's about to jump in price. According to him, XRP looks well set to continue with its recovery on its way back to its all-time high. I'm not going to go into that article, but I think that kind of sums it up there. I'm the digital asset investor. I'm not an investment advisor. This is for entertainment purposes only. Please subscribe, hit the like button, tell your friends and family that Peter Brent believes that XRP is about to jump. Thank you for listening.